that is incredibly tough. We're in our 4th season, and there are highlights on every episode. I think memorable moments for me include some of those where I've been a little awestruck or celebrity struck. So Bob Berg, our conversation with Bob Berg in this latest season was a huge coup for me. I've long admired his books, and so that was one where I found myself really searching for words, because I was just at this state of like, I can't believe I'm talking to one of my personal heroes. Stuart Weitzman was also another one of those moments. Stuart Trevor. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on of all these amazing people. Nicole Fischelli's, these people who are legacies in our industry. So it's hard to just narrow it down to one, because there's so many special moments. Ooh, that's a tricky question. Throughout my history, I have always been the person that's helping to develop businesses. I've helped businesses grow, pivot, scale, all of those things, and it's always through the lens of sales and marketing strategies. And I spent about a decade after 15 years working in the private sector, consulting for businesses, and a wide variety of them, and a handful of them were in the fashion industry. And at that time, Stars Design Group in our location where we're at right now had just relocated, did a full beautiful rehab on this gorgeous building, and it nearly transformed overnight. And I was driving by and I looked at it and I said, ooh, what is that? Stars Design Group, how fascinating. I looked it up, discovered of course that it was a fashion design and manufacturing house. And knowing that I was working in the same space and we worked in the same industry, I reached out to the CEO and said, we've got to know each other. We're in the same industry, we're in the same city, let's meet. And that's pretty much how it started as a full-time venture. We spent about a year or two just kind of having conversations about the industry, various challenges, and me being that person that always would come into situations to solve various challenges. I was very intrigued about what was happening here. And so after a few years of being friends in the industry, I officially came on board right during COVID. So that's how I ended up here. Oh my goodness, these are some challenging questions. I'm so glad I'm not the guest on the podcast. I would tell you that it's kind of like my first answer. I really like the wide variety of topics that we explore, from what's next in the industry, innovations, really diving into challenges. I love that I get to learn in every single conversation. That being said, I think some of the most fun I have on the podcast is when Brett and I are sitting right here at the bar and we're addressing a challenge that has just really bubbled up in the industry. It's something that's hit the news, or overnight some geopolitical factors come into play, and we need to help our viewers understand how to navigate the complexities of the situation. Those, for me, even though they're challenging times for those in the industry, I love being able to be a source of information on how to navigate that very complicated moment. Well, I was very amazed when I was first introduced to Stars Design Group and the CEO, co-host Brett Schnitker, the amount of knowledge that is within this building. And right away, when I started engaging in ongoing conversations about the challenges of the industry, where it's going, I just knew that Brett had this really unique perspective that needed to be shared. And so for me, coming in-house, it was really a way to get that knowledge that our industry is so thirsty for out there. I've had a history in podcasting, so I knew the power of the platform. And it was actually one of the very first initiatives I sought to implement upon coming inside of Stars Design Group. I want to have on next? Wow, there's so many. I would tell you that we have some exciting ones in the queue, and I am very much looking forward to those conversations. We have the founder of Clothing. This is a new technology that is an additive that's getting added into polyester fiber to help it break down naturally, kind of at the same rate of wool in a landfill. This is going to dynamically transform this industry. I'm very excited about that. We're going to be talking with Parkdale Cotton. This is a multi-generational family that's been around for a very long time. They are investing in a big way in all kinds of exciting initiatives, from zero waste manufacturing to having a tremendous innovation center to help people invent the next Ciclo, if you will. So there's some really great things on the horizon that I'm looking forward to. I would tell you, I would love to connect with some of those kind of rock star design directors, for some of my brands that are personal favorites, the Alexander McQueen, Burberry, some of those really incredible couture brands. I would love Chanel, to have an opportunity to talk with. I think Jeremy Scott would be wonderful. He is from not St. Louis, but from Missouri, and of course, our corporate office being in Missouri, it would make wonderful sense for us to be able to have a conversation. It's endless. There's so many incredible, talented people out there, and I'm always looking for who's next to bring in and share their exciting story. Well, in addition to ongoing growth, more seasons, more episodes, we have a wonderful, loyal audience. I want to keep that momentum going. We have expanded into a magazine, and I want to continue to see that hit the market, and people, get really excited when they see that out on the streets. I think what I would envision for us is more opportunity to be represented as press. We were invited to attend the World Retail Congress this last year and report on some of the exciting things that were being shared then. It was a wonderful opportunity for us to bring that information to our audience. And in fact, not only did we do podcast episode, but also magazine coverage of that. So I think more opportunity to represent our audience through direct media relationships, that's something that interests me quite a bit. I also would like to see my co-host up there on thought leadership stage a little bit more, with the amount of information that he has and his expertise in this space. I see us hitting a few stages down the road. You have to stay true to your vision for the podcast. Like any other business, you need a plan. You need to understand what your goals are for that. Put that down. Be very intentional about it. When you're asking a guest on, make sure that guest aligns with the goals of that platform and the message that you want to be able to share. I think that's really the key advice, is just really staying true to your intention. And it can get very easy to get distracted. You can meet somebody and be like, oh, you need to be on the podcast. But then, if they don't have the right alignment, it can feel very disconnected and confuse your audience. I think the amount of following. Actually, I'm not as surprised by that. Brett definitely is. I know on the very first episode, he kind of gave a comment about, well, who's going to care about what I have to say? And I kind of had a different feeling about it. So, but I am really honored to discover, the amount of people that have embraced our podcast throughout the industry worldwide, and through all the various specialties within the industry, from designers to technical developers to mills and fabric specialists and manufacturers and project managers and educators and students, and it just goes on and on and on. And so for me, that has been one of the more rewarding aspects of creating this podcast, is seeing how universally adopted it has become in the industry.